Hi everyone. Welcome to today's live. Um, I'm Sanika Sharma, and I will be your host today for the live. I'll just wait for a couple of more people to join in, and then we'll get started. Hi everyone. Welcome to today's live. Um, I'm Sanika Sharma, and I will be your host today for the live. I'll just wait for a couple of more people to join in, and then we'll get started. So, the theme for So the topic for today's live is the importance of cinema in your English learning process. So not just cinema, actually, it's cinema, TV series, YouTube videos, stand-up comedies, etc. I know we've all heard a lot about this. You might have seen such related content on our page related to this. Uh, but today I'm going to dive a little more deeper on how you can practice active listening and active reading in order to improve your speaking. And yeah, I'm also going to share some tips and some movie recommendations as well. And yeah, it's going to be fun. I'll just wait for some more people to join in. Hello, everyone who just joined. I'm Sanika. I'll be the live host today. I'm sure everyone already consumes a lot of media, right? Like movies, and who doesn't watch movies? And this is probably the most simplest way, the simplest and most enjoyable way, if you will, to work on your English. Because this is something that everyone is already doing. So today I'll be just sharing a couple of tips and hacks on. Uh, Auntie, sorry about the inconvenience. So yeah. Okay. So I'm going to start with the theme now. So everyone watches movies, TV series, and YouTube videos, right? It's such an eminent and prominent way of consuming media today. We're constantly on the internet, and we're constantly binging on OTT websites like Netflix, Prime Video, etc. So this live is majorly going to be about why, me helping you understand why it helps, and I'll just keep introducing myself multiple times in between, just so that everyone else who is there knows what the live is about and what we will be discussing today. Hello, everyone who just joined. I'm Sanika. I am your host for today's live. And the theme for today's live is the importance of cinema in learning, in work, in learning English and improving your spoken English, especially. So, since everyone nowadays consumes a lot of content on the internet, right? Be it YouTube, Instagram, OTT websites like Prime Video, Netflix, etc. So today's live is majorly going to be about how you can utilize this hobby and this source of entertainment also to work on your English skills, right? Because whoever you see, whatever fluent speakers you see today, most of them have gotten their skills, have been able to work on their skills by consuming media like movies, TV series, books, podcasts, etc. So today we are going to majorly discuss how and why movies help so much, and how it has helped so many international celebrities even to work on their English. So, okay, let's get started. So, the point of learning English while through watching and listening is to basically practice our listening skills, because listening is the only way to improve speaking. What you hear, what people usually mean when they say that you need to be in an English speaking environment in order to work on your English is basically that you have to be in an environment that you can listen to fluent speakers as much as possible on a regular basis. But that can get a little difficult sometimes because we can't always, not everyone can always find places where people are actively speaking and people are where you can actively listen to people talk in English, which is where movies and TV series and YouTube videos come into play. So, what happens when we listen, right? Before we dive into the how and why, we just need to understand why listening is so important for us speaking. So, listening actively makes your brain used to the language, and it gets registered into your brain. The English language gets registered into your brain without you having to put in any extra effort for it, right? So you're just sitting on your couch, sitting on your bed, or watching a movie, and you don't even know, but your brain is grasping a lot in that process, right? And you are just sitting and relaxing over there, but your memory and your uh, subconscious is working a lot. I'm just constantly looking there so that I don't miss any of the questions. Um, how can I improve my English, my public speaking? Yeah, so this is what that session is about, right? Again, introducing the topic to anyone who's just joined. The topic for today's live is in the importance of cinema in spoken English, in improving your spoken English. Yeah, okay. So I was talking about first the importance of listening in your English learning process, right? So what movies help us accomplish is that when we constantly watch a movie on a regular basis or an English language web series, our brain gets used to the language, and the language, grammar, vocabulary, everything else gets registered into our brain in a much more easier and sustainable manner, right? So because think about it, even when you listen to a song multiple times, just after listening to it a couple of times, it gets registered into your brain, right? Something very similar happens when you watch a movie and when you constantly listen to the English language, be it through movies or TV series or YouTube videos. You constantly have to stay in touch with the language, right? So, but it's not always possible for us to look for environments that provide us with such an environment, right? Which is where cinema and all this online content comes to our rescue. So now that we have understood the importance of listening uh, in the English speaking process, and now that we have understood that movies help us work on our English because they make us work on our listening skills, right? You don't even have to put in any conscious effort. You can just be relaxing on your bed and watching a movie, and your brain will just do its work. So, but now the problem that usually arises is that yeah. So the problem that usually arises in this listening process, listening to movies and watching stuff, is that it can be difficult to understand what you listen, right? So if you're a beginner at the English language, it can be difficult to understand the speaking speed, the accents of people, their pronunciation, etc. So if you can't even understand what you're listening, how can you make your English better, right? So in order to understand what you listen more, you have to be brilliant at reading first, right? So, and when I say brilliant at reading, I don't mean reading books essentially or reading newspapers or any of the usual stuff that you hear about, but I mean reading subtitles while watching movies, right? So I know it's a very popular opinion, and I know everyone usually hears that when you're watching an English movie or something in the English language, don't use subtitles, but that's not true. So, because, okay, so there are different stages to this, right? Um, so there are a lot of stages to this, right? When you're a beginner at the English language and you don't really have any idea about the pronunciation, about grammar rules, about tenses, etc., it can get terribly difficult to watch a movie without subtitles. So when you are a beginner, subtitles become absolutely necessary, right? Because you're watching and listening and reading at the same time. Okay, so I will. Actually, movies do help, but that's what the thing is, that you have to know the right way of doing it, right? So, yeah, it's true that solely movies won't take you anywhere, but they certainly add a lot. The reason for my fluency is because I have watched a lot of movies and I continue to watch a lot of movies on a daily basis, right? So when we were talking about the importance of reading, right? So reading is the most easy aspect of English learning. So once you have perfected your reading speed, you know when you become comfortable in reciting out what you're reading, that is when listening is actually going to help, right? So when I say reading, again, I don't mean reading books and newspapers, magazines, etc., anything. But while watching a movie, turn on the subtitles, and you have to do this on a regular basis. You can't expect that you watch a movie once a week or once a month or twice a week even, and then be like, why isn't it helping me? Movies are not English uh, teachers, right? They're not English schools. They're just a source that you can make use of, right? Because it's available. So now, how can you make a use of it is by first making sure that you're reading and listening in the correct way, and both of your reading and listening are in sync. So, this is also the reason why when a lot of learners, when they are learning English and they start watching English movies, they watch the same movie two times. First with subtitles and then without subtitles. And this can be a pretty helpful technique for certain people. Uh, but it is also very time consuming. So you can do that if that suits you or not. So yeah, so the two things briefly that we have discussed right now is that it is only through listening that we can improve our speaking, and it is only through reading that we can improve our listening. Sorry. So which is how movies help us out, right? Movies, watching movies with subtitles. So now that we have established this, it is important to understand that when you start working on your spoken English, right, everything starts from active listening. So if you're just sitting and the movie is playing on the TV and you're just on your phone or something like that, it's not going to work. You have to be invested in the movie, you have to pay attention to it. And it's actually pretty easy to pay attention to a good movie, right? Because movies are entertaining. And yeah, so just make sure that your subtitles are on, and after a couple of months, you have to do this on a daily basis. If watching a movie on a daily basis gets too much, you can switch to a TV series that you like, an English language TV series. So it's actually a fact that the TV series Friends has helped a lot of people in their spoken English skills, even celebrities, right? So you can start watching Friends if you like. It's also a very good introduction to the pop culture and to international culture and everything else. So yeah, if watching a movie on a daily basis gets too much, uh, you can always start with you can always start with the TV series or a YouTube channel or something. It has to be in English language. And also, before we proceed further, I would like to announce that Clappingo is launching an online course on the topic how to crack your interview. And the teaser for the course will be out today at 7. And the first two modules of this course will be out on Saturday and Sunday. So, yeah. And okay, so back to the topic. active listening we were talking about. So even when you're watching movies, you have to practice active listening in order for it to work, and you have to do it constantly on a daily basis, right? Um, uh, okay, one such movie that has, like right now, I just suggested Friends, right? Now, another movie that has helped a lot of people, including myself, in their English learning skills is Harry Potter. So, because Harry Potter offers a very wide range of situations for you to learn English and vocabulary from, and it's it's actually a very good mixture of simple and complex English. So it might be the case that when you watch it for the first time, you may not understand it, but as you go and as you proceed further with it, you will, I guarantee you, you'll find it a lot more easier and entertaining. So yeah, and it's also beneficial because Harry Potter has so many settings. You know, it has classrooms, it has wizards, it has magic, it has trains, and so much stuff, right? So personally, again, Harry Potter has helped me out a lot. And again, I want to reiterate that Clappingo is releasing a course on the topic how to crack your interview. The teaser for that course will be out today at 7 on YouTube. So if you've not subscribed already, do so. And the first two modules of this course will be out on Saturday and Sunday for free for you to watch. Yeah. Okay. So now that we have established that active listening and active reading is important if you want to master your English through watching movies. Now, also, when we start watching movies, right? Again, I want to say it again and again that you have to do it consistently. You can't expect that you watch a movie once a month, once a week, twice a week, even for it to work. You have to do it on a daily basis. If a movie is too much, you can start with a series or a YouTube channel of your choice, of course. So once you get into it, right? If you start watching movies for learning English, yeah, Disney Pixar's movies and Friends TV series also help out a lot. So once you start watching movies, right, it's also important to understand that you have to keep switching up the genres, right? You can't just stick to, let's say, dramas, or can't just stick to thrillers, etc. Because when you watch different genres, right, without realizing, your brain will grasp so much information and so much vocabulary. Sometimes what happens with me is that uh, I'm just sitting there and out of nowhere, I use a word that I didn't even realize I knew the meaning of, right? So that happens because I watch movies and TV series on a daily basis, right? It's a part of my lifestyle, which is what helps in your English speaking a lot, right? So once you start watching, right, and once your brain is so exposed to the language on a regular basis, your brain will start picking up words and information about the English language without you even realizing it. And then maybe a month from now, you will also, it will definitely happen with you if you stick to watching movies, etc., on a regular basis. That a month from now, you will use a word out of nowhere and you just realize, wait, I know the meaning to that word. So it would be really helpful, right? So, which is why it's important to keep switching up genres, watch dramas, comedies, emotional thrillers, because these movies have different situations which help us learn a very wide range of vocabulary. I will suggest a couple of movies at the end of this live, so stay till then. And if you watch those movies and TV series, at least for the next a week or two, you will start to see the difference. Okay. So again, I want to reiterate that Clappingo is launching an online course on the topic how to crack your interview. The teaser for this course will be released today at 7 on YouTube. So if you've not subscribed to the YouTube channel, do so. And the first two modules of the course will be out on Saturday and Sunday for you to watch for free. Yeah. So we were talking about vocabulary, right? How now another reason why movies help is because you don't have to actively practice or put in any effort of your on your own. All you have to do is just sit, relax on your bed and play a movie and just pay attention to it while you watch it, right? Learning always happens subconsciously. So whenever we play, people who play football or people who play any kind of sport, right? Why do they get so good at it gradually? Because their brain and their muscles start to pick up uh, those exercises and those regular things that they keep doing, right? Same happens with English. That if you're constantly again exposed to the language so much, it will help you out a lot. So your memory is learning without you even realizing it, right? So you could just be sitting on your couch watching something just for fun, and your brain is picking up so much information, right? But now what happens is that, let's say you watched a movie on Monday, right? And your brain picked up a lot of information, and then it's stored in your it's stored in your brain, right? And then after Monday, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then on Sunday you decide, okay, let's watch another movie. But till then, your brain has forgotten all the information from the last movie, and your memory is completely wiped out. So that's why I keep saying it again and again that consistency is very important, no matter what exercises you do. And I feel that watching movies is the most simple and the most fun exercise that you can do in order to work on your English, right? So the things that we have covered till now is that movies help us because they make us work on our listening skills. And in order to have strong listening skills, we need to have strong reading skills. And when we do that, we also need to be consistent. If you're not consistent, then there's no point. If you are doing something for 3 days and if you stop doing it for the next 2 days, then your brain will forget everything that you learned in those 3 days. So which is why intensity is not important. I'm not saying that watch a million movies a month or watch 10 movies a week or something, but do it consistently. If you're watching a series, watch it for half an hour a day, and then watch it again for half an hour a day, but do it every day, right? So intensity, the amount of something is not important. The frequency of it is important, right? Yeah, how to remember vocabulary for a longer time. I was just coming to that. Now, something that you should not do while watching movies is to Google the meaning of words that you don't understand. I know it's very tempting whenever we're watching a movie and or anywhere really, whenever a word pops up and we see that it's not, we don't understand it, we immediately Google it. And what happens? Okay, you Google the meaning of the word, you know, okay, this word means this. And then the second you switch off that tab, you will forget the meaning of that word and it's going to be of no use, right? So don't do that. If you don't understand a word while you're reading, watching, or anywhere, don't. Try to understand the context in which that word is being spoken, right? So let's say you're watching a movie about a farmer, right? And the farmer uses a word that I need a lot of fertilizers for my field. So let's say you don't understand the meaning of fertilizers, right? But it's understandable that he's talking about some sort of chemical for his plants, right? Since he's a farmer and he's working on a field. So don't, because even when you go out, right, no one is going to ask you the meaning of words. Okay, I'm not. If I meet you somewhere, I'm not going to ask what is the meaning of fertilizers. I'm not going to ask you that. No one is going to ask you the meaning of words, right? We only have to learn the usage of these words. Okay, so everyone knows the meaning of fan, right? What a fan means. But if I asked you to explain what a fan means, it wouldn't make a lot of sense. So remembering vocabulary is important only so that we can use it. So understanding the exact meaning of that word is not important, but understanding the usage of that word is important, which is again where consistency comes in. So when you're constantly watching so many movies, right? Let's say you are watching a TV series every day or watching a movie every day for the next 6 months, right? You will have listened to so many words on a regular basis, and some of those words would have repeated themselves, and some of the speaking patterns would have repeated themselves, and you won't even realize how many words you've learned, right? So you would have not, you may not be able to explain their meaning again, which is not important, but you will understand their usage, which is again what happens with me sometimes, that I'm just sitting there and I out of nowhere use a word and I'm like, wait, I know the meaning of this word, because I don't realize it, because I consume a lot of English media, English content on a regular basis, which is why my memory picks up a lot of information without me even realizing it. But if you Google a word, then you're going to forget it immediately, right? And again, I want to reiterate that Clapingo is releasing a course on how to crack your interview. The teaser for that course will be out today at 7, and the first two modules of the course will be released on Saturday and Sunday on Clapingo's YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed to it yet, do it. Right? Okay. So yeah. So what we have arrived at right now is that three things you have to remember while watching movies: that you have to actively listen, you have to keep reading the subtitles so that you're able to understand what you listen, and you also have to be consistent. Consistency is the most important thing, no matter what you do. It's not just about learning English. If you want to master anything, consistency is extremely important, right? So a couple of movies I will suggest in a minute. Before that, I also want to reiterate that, let's say you have done everything, right? You have watched a lot of movies for 6 months, and you have watched a lot of TV series on a regular basis, and your brain has picked up on a lot of information, and you know a lot of new words now. Everything is going good. But if you don't have a channel to speak, if you don't have a channel to use that information at, then there is also a chance that your brain might reject that information, because your brain might feel that, okay, I have all this information, but I'm not able to put it to use, right? So it's also important to engage in regular conversation. Listening and reading are our topmost priority, right? But ultimately, the goal is to improve our speaking, right? So in order to improve our speaking, we have to speak, right? In one of the reels that we shared on our page, uh, we reiterated, we said, we declared, we said that we explained that you can't become a chef by just watching recipe videos on YouTube without actually cooking. You can't expect that I'm watching videos and I'm a chef. You actually have to cook in order to become a chef. Similarly, that is the case with English, that no matter how much information you grasp from anywhere, you have to put it to use as well, right? So, if I would suggest that start talking to your friends and family in this language if possible, but it's not always possible because it feels a little formal to do that. So, which is where Clapingo comes in. You can always rely on Clapingo and our expert speaking partners for you to provide a very comfortable and judgment-free environment, space to speak and make mistakes and grow from them, right? So, yeah, so that was about it. Even when you watch movies, you have to keep these three things in mind, right? So again, if you feel that after a couple of months, I don't feel like I feel like I will be able to understand without subtitles as well, then obviously by all means remove the subtitles. But if you are watching a movie and you're not able to understand it, then turn on the subtitles, right? And uh, there are a lot of Bollywood English movies also that you can watch. One such movie is called Finding Fanny and The Namesake, right? And a couple of other movies that help beginners are Harry Potter again, like I mentioned. There are 7 parts of that movie, so that will keep you going for a while. And then there's The Social Network and Forrest Gump. And you can go to our page. We have put up a lot of movie recommendations over there. So yeah, I think that is about it. If anyone has any questions, you can let us know. I'm sure everyone has watched a lot of movies, right? And so yeah, you can do let us know what movies and TV shows have helped you in your English learning journey. I'm seeing a lot of comments here that after watching Friends, I started understanding the episodes without subtitles, which is exactly what I meant. And yeah, someone has also mentioned here about Harry Potter. What are some other movies that have helped you out? If you also have any questions, you can leave them here in the comments. And yeah,